When someone says Latina, you get images of Salma Hayek, J-Lo, nowadays, maybe even a graceful ballet-trained Zoe Saldana. You think of food and salsa and accents, and no binge-watching time spent with April Ludgate on Parks and Rec can erase that indelible image. But we aren't all piñatas and mangoes, for freak's sake. We are dark and precise, like Borges, Laberinto, nerdy and cold, like our Russian brethren who left us their names, bizarre and vicious, like Al Jurgensen, El Cubano himself. My mother was dark too, but she had no voice. Today, I am her voice. It goes beyond my tattoos and piercings. See, Mommy had 2 boys. Enough for her, she thought. No one bothered to tell my mother she had to remove the IUD after a certain amount of time. So when several years passed, she found herself pregnant with me. I grew in her belly despite a big, murderous piece of plastic that was my roommate. My tiny limbs grew in a hostile environment in order to give my mother what she always wanted, a girl. She asked not to be sedated so that she could see my birth, but the doctors lied to her and conked her out anyway. Apparently, doctors at Mercy Hospital in Chicago don't give a damn about Cuban mothers or their uteruses or their daughters growing in their bellies or their wishes or simple pieces of information that can make them happy or saving their lives or saving their daughters' lives. Mommy accepted the disrespect silently. I was loud, and I fought. I fought to live in her womb and then be born, and only a few months later, during the Christmas and New Year holiday, I fought to live despite becoming sick with pneumonia. My father sat in the hospital with me as I cried in pain from within a crib encased in plastic. He could only insert his hand through a rubber glove to touch me. And I grabbed his thumb, and according to the story he always tells, I did not want to let go. The hospital did not allow him or my mother to stay with me overnight. They hated to leave me, but I survived. By the time I was 4 months old, I had kicked death's ass twice. I was born a punk. A few years later, when I was not 10 years old yet, I dressed up as a punk for Halloween. I wore a trash bag as a dress and cinched it with my mom's purple fabric belt with the rhinestone buckle. I got the idea from European music videos on the MV3 channel videos about chauffeurs, Depeche Mode, and cannibals, Shriek Back. My afro was sprayed with orange and pink hair. My lipstick was black. My eyes were outlined in silver. The picture Thea took of me in the room we shared was full length. I stood with my hands on my hips, had cocked to one side, and the attitude on my face was deadly and silly. The next year, I was a ghost of a motorcycle biker who had a terrible accident. I wore jeans, jacket, raggedy white t-shirt, pull-on mask that was gruesome, denim hat, knee-high boots. Papi kept asking what I was because he didn't understand my costume, and it made me furious that I had to keep telling him. Deep down, I was furious because he would have understood a Miss Universe costume better. Was he even different than the men who sedated mommy? But that's okay. I know even Miss Universe herself, who's almost always Latina, knows that under the sequins and paint, we are hardcore chicas, always taking advantage of your underestimation, always fighting for ownership of our bodies, ownership of our lives.